Hey everybody, it's your boy Big L PhD. Big L PhD. Thank you so much for tuning into this program, this podcast, right? Tuning into this fine hour. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. Still trying to develop a schedule about how often I want to release these. Maybe 3 times a week. I think I'm going to shoot for 3 times a week, but I'll try to get it done. I want to have a conversation today that has some potential to have some serious repercussions if the advice is not followed. I just want to ask a serious question. I'm going to try to give a serious answer. That is, who should you let your guard down around? Who should you be vulnerable with? Who should you trust? How do you know whether they're trustworthy? I'm going to try to get into all that. Before I do, make sure that you hit that rate, subscribe, share button. If you like the content, right? If you have some suggestions or ideas, make sure that you hit me up in the comment section and or on my about page. You can get my email and all that. If you want to have a conversation, do some networking conversations about how to, improve yourself, improve your frame of thinking. Hit me up. So let's get into it. So this is a vital question, because once you entrust to someone with your secrets, you then become exposed. You become vulnerable. You become almost at their mercy. And who wants to be in that vulnerable position, right? As you navigate this corporate world, and I was in law enforcement, right? So these people, they people in general try to get details up on you. I had a conversation with my son in which he was talking, and it was somebody who would come into his life, and he's asking him all these delving, probing kind of questions. It's really coming down on him. Delving, probing questions. Who's your mom? Who's your dad? School you went to? They're trying to figure you out. Trying to figure you out, who you are, what you're about, what your thought set is, what your mindset is, all that type of stuff. So you have to be very, very cautious about who you allow into your inner circle, who you expose yourself to. Understand when people are trying to be genuinely inquisitive versus nosy, or try to hold something over you or against you. One time I had a captain on my PD, and I liked him very much. And I was very much to myself. Didn't really hang out with the guys after work, and I had a family. I'm going home, right? So, and one day this captain says to me, "You don't have any vices, do you?" You don't have any vices, do you? So, if you don't have anything, if nobody has anything on you, man, they don't like that. People don't like that, right? I watch, ever since Game of Thrones, I've been watching a lot more political type of shows. Madam Secretary, I watched that. I'm watching House of Cards again. I'm really mad at Kevin Spacey for messing that up. But anyway, the point is, who can you trust? Who should you let your guard down on? Because you're going through situations. You're having a hard time with your dissertation. You have a hard time with your family. You're having a hard time with your boss, your job, co-workers. You're having a hard time with your spouse. You're having a hard time, whatever it is, dealing with your sexuality, whatever it is. You can have a hard time, right? Just having a hard time. And to keep those things bottled up, we know is unhealthy. It can have psychosomatic, or in other words, it can have, keeping things bottled up can have physical consequences, right? You can become sick and all that. I know it's controversial. But who can you know and who can you trust? So here's my little 2 cents. My 50 years of experience, my time in political politically charged environments that I was in and I'm currently in now. Always be careful with your secrets. Be careful with your family. Be careful who you talk to, who you expose. Be careful of what you put on social media. Be careful of all that. Be careful of all that. Now, the conversation could be had about secrets and I don't have any secrets, I don't have anything to hide and share. That's great. That's great. But there are political ramifications. I don't mean politics, but I mean future problems that people could use to hold against you. Family, right? Friends, things you said on social media, things you thought about social media, things that you clicked on, liked, all that type of stuff. You gotta be very, very cautious about that. We're gonna probably do a separate show about that. Separate episode about that. So, who can you trust? Listen, they say in your life you only have 2 or 3 real friends in a lifetime. You'll have acquaintances, you'll have people you call friends, but who can you call at 2 a.m. when you got a flat tire? Who can you call and who can you tell something to and they know you'll never hear it again unless you bring it up? Who can you do that with? And that takes a lifetime, that takes years of vetting, watching them, how they interact with other people. What secrets or what small little things have you told them? And maybe even a jest. remember that time you did that? What I told you in confidence. And I don't ever expect to hear it again. What I told you in confidence. I don't ever expect to hear it again. So that takes years of detailed examination, training, and all that. And this becomes very, very difficult, especially for men. It becomes very difficult, especially for men, because men, particularly in romantic relationships, are very cautious about that. There is a push for men to be more exposed, to be more socially acceptable, to be more socially aware, to be more emotionally intelligent, all these different type of buzzwords. But the problem is that, you can watch numerous social media podcasts, numerous episodes of which men say when they've done that, it's been held against them. When they've cried, when they've shown emotional vulnerability, it's been held against them. I've had ladies tell me, the moment I see my man cry, it's over. It's over. So I would not suggest. It's gonna be controversial. I'm gonna say it anyway. I would not suggest that if you're in a romantic relationship that you cry. I'm getting all kind of phone calls and whatnot. That you cry or show that type of emotional vulnerability in front of your lady. I would suggest that. I'm not saying that men ought never to cry. I certainly believe that you should. But I think that you should do it amongst one close friend that you trust with all your might, because you have vetted him and he's been your friend for years. And let it out. Go to a therapist. Let it out. Go to a counselor. Go to a life coach. Go to your pastor. Go to somebody and let it out. Do not hold it in. I'm not advocating for bottling it up at all. At all. Again, being in law enforcement, I saw so many times where these were big, strong men who wrestle with individuals and who, went toe-to-toe with some big dudes and had to do what we had to do in order to bring somebody into compliance or custody. And then next thing you know, they're developing substance abuse issues and/or contemplating or completing self-deletions. Don't hold it in. question is, who can you trust? And I'm not saying that just because you're in a romantic relationship that maybe she is your ride or die. Maybe you know through vetting, through time, through experience, through other things that have happened, that she will never reveal your secrets. Who am I to say and interfere in your relationship and say don't do it under any circumstance? But if you want my suggestion, especially when it's new, right? Maybe you've been married for 20 years and you just know that this person is it for me. You do what you feel is best, and don't let me or any other social media personality convince you and talk you out of what's working for you. But my suggestion, that's my suggestion, regardless of who it is, family, friend, coworker, you need to know that can be trusted, and that comes through time, through experience. There's no magic number. There's no magic saying. There's no magic phrase I can give you. You gotta know, because of past situations, past secrets. If they're telling you, here's one way you can know. If they're telling you, somebody ever says, I got some information, I got some tea about this person, you know that you can never trust that person. If they're telling you somebody else's stuff, you should never tell them what. If they're telling you somebody else's stuff, you should never ever trust them. So time, experience, past experiences, little details, small little items, and their relationships and their interactions with other people. They say to you, you heard something, I heard something about, man. Man's, let's see, I heard you know. That's a person that is in my estimation, a trustworthy person. Now, if that person, so that would be a person, in my estimation, that is a possibility for a good friend down the road, because you know that this person can be trusted. They can be trusted. They can be trusted. Or maybe they don't know you that well. Maybe they don't trust you that much. And that's another point too, is in order to be able to trust other people, you have to be the person that they can trust as well. We can't be this expecting society that is always expecting the most. I want you to cater to me. I want you to be able to listen to me. I want you to be there for me at 3:00 in the morning. I want you to be there for me when my parents die. I want you to be there for me when I'm contemplating, some life-altering, life-changing decision. I want you to be there for me, but I'm not going to be there for you. Be there for other people, right? And be the person who doesn't be a blabbermouth. So this is a question, a commentary, a thought-provoking mindset of who should you trust. But also I want you to ask, can you be trusted? Can you be trusted? Can you be trusted? Do you blab about secrets? Do you tell the information? Are you a gossiper who's got to spill the tea? Are you letting the cat out of the bag, or whatever other sayings that are out there? So let me know your thoughts, your opinions. If you made it this far, hit that rate, subscribe, share button. If you got any ideas for what we talk about, I got plenty, but sometimes there's things that people want us to cover. So in the meantime, please think about it. Become the best version of yourself. Work on yourself. Think about it. Contemplate it. Let's make the world a better place. Let's make sure your community is a better place. Let's make sure that your family, your situation, and you are the best version of yourself. Push yourself to the limit. Think. Set aside time for reflection. Set aside time for introspection. to think about yourself. Man, do I blab about other people's secrets? Man, am I the person that people can't trust? Am I the person who's the gossiper? Am I the person who's always trying to dig into other people's business? Maybe other people don't talk to me because I talked about so many other people, right? And if you're a lady watching this, be very, very mindful about the secrets that your man tells you. And this is a pushing, this is part of the problem of the whole agenda about people marrying and not wanting to get married and secrets being revealed and all this kind of crazy stuff. And if you think about it, right, I'll end off with this. There's a certain social vulnerability, and this is recognized. Vulnerability is recognized. Right now, most states, if not all 50, have some type of revenge porn prawn law. In other words, if your girlfriend sends you some nudie pictures and you get mad and you put them all over the internet for the world to see, you're going to be arrested for that. Well, I'm talking about the same type of emotional damage when somebody tells you their secrets and you do the same thing about blabbing their secrets. It's the same type. If we understand the emotional, psychological, reputation destroying damage that type of revenge prawn exposure of pictures deals to someone, then understand the same type of psychological damage, emotional damage, hurt, trust can be fostered on other individuals. And if you really understand that, then hopefully you can make better decisions about not only being entrusted with it, but maybe trusting other people. And again, I'm going to say this: if you want to put out into the atmosphere, if you want to put out in the atmosphere that I want to be able to trust people, then people have to be able to trust you. Who can you be vulnerable around? Who can you trust? Who can you trust with your secrets? The first question is, as you're looking around, and I want to be able to trust this person and my mother, and trust my aunt, and trust my cousin, and trust my man, my ace, trust my homegirls, trust the girls that I went on a girls trip with, and we know what happened in Vegas or happening down in Jamaica, whatever's happened down there is going to stay down there. But the first question you ought to be asking is, am I the person that they can trust? Much love and peace, everyone.